planning to start your own business but don't know where to start? Or you are a startup who's struggling to establish itself? Then this episode is for you. In this episode, we are going to explore do's and don'ts of startup business. So stay tuned. So Aditi, we welcome you to today's show.
Thank you so much, Ishleen ma'am. I think I'm very humbled to hear all the introductions. So thanks a lot for that.
Pleasure indeed, and it's indeed a pleasure that you are here on our show today. So Aditi, tell us something about your startup Des Rangeela.
So it's a journey back from my school, and what I felt is what I just kept following. And we work for the geographical indicators, which is GI. And I think everybody knows that every culture has its own significance. हर देश के हर state का कुछ speciality होता है.
Right.
And these specialities are basically what we are trying to bring to the market. And everybody is talking about the problem that artisans are facing, that they're not getting fair trade, they're not getting the best of their products to the market, and the people are not able to have their products in their homes. And that's one side of the problem. The other side of the problem is that the machine maids have a better finish and all of that. So what we are trying to do with Des Rangeela is to bridge this gap and try to solve these problems. We understand the pain points of artisans because I have personally met them. I've had food with them. I've gone to their homes. I've understood their family problems. Why the next generation does not want to follow the art form, right? They can happily choose to become a security guard or construction site labor, but they are not willing to continue an art form. Why is that situation of an artisan who can probably be a Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, or a Shilpa Guru, right? So this is what I try to understand, and I feel that once we are able to bring these artisan products to the market, a lot of heritage is brought back to life. So हमारा काम है उसको म्यूजियम से मार्केट में लाना, and that's what we are working for. And we try to educate people about Indian art. Like what I'm wearing is this is a Meenakari jewelry, but I got it designed by the art, by myself, and got it produced by the artisan. So what we try to do is re-innovate the product, make it more comfortable, make it more durable. And it's not just about product. It's say what we are trying to do is bring employment in the grassroots. It is the second largest sector of India, the Indian artisan. हमने सबने स्कूल में पढ़ा है कि agriculture is the backbone of India. Right. But the second largest is the artisan industry. And this is how I wanted to bring the sunrise of this sunset industry. In future we also plan to bring the cultural. So हमारे देश में हमको सिखाया गया है बचपन से कि वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. And since I'm incubated in symbiosis, that culture got somehow influenced. And I think in future I would also like to bring cultures of the whole planet together on one platform and call it Des Rangeela. That's the company.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And that's indeed a very, very noble thought. We wish you all the very best. Acha, Aditi, tell me,
Thank you.
did you like it was always in your mind that I want to be an entrepreneur, or it was some turning point in your life that you thought, okay, I really want to start up something of my own?
I have grown up seeing my father having his own signature on the papers and having his own cabin. It's not a very established setup, but I have always felt that मुझे भी sign करनी है. बचपन से ही वो था, मुझे भी अपनी company का stamp लगाना है. And for a very good reason, since the school time, I have always read about Mr. Ratan Tata, and I have always tried to understand कि देश का नमक. Then they are into automobile, they are into say Wi-Fi, they are into coffee, they are into salt, and they are everywhere. And they only talk about nation building from airline to everything. So I got influenced by that since my childhood, and I always felt कि मुझे भी अपनी company start करनी है. But that one thing that I always knew is that I want to do something that will add value to my country. So there were families who could live their life because I started a company and get to a level that others could employ employee into it.
Hmm.
I think that clarity was there since my childhood. Not in the rightest way. I would say कि as I started the company, I understood it more and more what it is to be a leader, to be an entrepreneur, what are the pros and cons, what are the risks and everything.
Hmm.
But I think I was fascinated by the fact that I want to be an entrepreneur in some or the other way since my childhood.
Hmm.
And I played Baby Indira Gandhi in school, where I played where the scene is where I actually break a doll which is made in foreign, and that is what she did to boycott foreign goods.
Hmm.
And in that Swadeshi movement, as a child, as a baby Indira Gandhi, for her it was that she was killing her own child, because that doll, for her, she raised it as its own child. She played it like ye mera bacha hai types. So
Right.
emotionally, when you play that in your childhood, it has its इन्फ्लुएंस ऑन यू राइट. सो मुझे तब से ही था कि स्वदेशी क्या है, मेड इन इंडिया क्या है. तो आई स्टिल वेन एवर आई परचेज, आई फील के आई सी द टैग्स, where it's manufactured, what is the material, everything. I try to learn about it before I buy. Even if I eat chips, I would read about वो लेज क्या है, वो मैन्युफैक्चर कहाँ हुआ है, things like that. So I think that instinct was always there, which I think came through experiences or came through the environment that I was growing up in. And eventually I decided to follow it.
Yeah, that's good. And you're talking about make in India, the things that are made in India, promoting our culture, our heritage, which is, I think, the need of the hour. Because this is something which is left behind, and this is the legacy that we have been blessed with. But still, somehow,
Right.
we are not respecting it. So, that is indeed something which is required at this point of time. But tell me one thing, when you decided to start this business, so did you plan something for the funding and everything? Like how would I get my funds from? What kind of different planning you went through? And what are the
Uh,
planning actually an entrepreneur has to do when they have to do a startup business?
okay, this is, whoever listens to this will save a lot of time because I will tell about the mistakes I did. I hope somebody, whoever listens, is blessed and does not do the same mistake. So I really did not know. In college, you read about sole proprietorship, private limited, LPP, public company, all of that.
Hmm.
But in real, you never actually started it on do. It's a complete different game. Like every paper has its meaning,
Hmm.
correct? And when I started with 20,000 from my balcony as a sole proprietor. Decks, learning how to reach out to the right people, learning about my product, about my customer, and all of that. It's after that that I started a private limited company
Okay.
through my idea. And I feel if I was a bit aware about how incubation works, how the Startup India Limited, Startup India initiatives are given grants,
Hmm.
investor rounds, equity share. ये जो हम अभी thanks to Shark Tank, I think many people know about equity क्या है,
Right.
percentage क्या है, valuation क्या है, gross margins क्या है. So I had to self-learn it at that point of time. Really discussed every day, or at least it was a topic of the talk. So to discover all this, it took a lot of my time, and I would recommend whoever listening to your audience basically that whenever you have an idea, you can actually immediately get into a private limited company, yourself as a startup registration, get the DPIIT certificates, get your company registered, get your trademarks, patents, everything in hand, and
Hmm.
that can be immediate. उसके लिए it's not necessary कि आप revenue generate already इतना कर रहे हो फिर वो करो. No, when you have an idea, you can immediately get it on paper as a private limited company.
Hmm.
And once you register as a private limited company, the whole game changes in the world of business. Sole proprietors, so sole proprietor is where you are doing traditionally a business where your scale is not where you're thinking of a target market, say some hundreds, thousands, lakhs, thousands, crores ka,
Well,
industry. It's called टैम। सो आपका टैम इतना ज्यादा नहीं होता है, तभी आप सोचते हो कि सोल प्रोप्राइटर है, कोई दुकान रन कर रहे, कोई शॉप रन कर रहे, तो इट्स लाइक यू मे नॉट क्रॉस से समथिंग अराउंड 100-200 CR, but when you registered as a startup, registered as a private limited company, then it's a complete different change. Then you're talking about thousands of crores, then you're talking about your equity, then you're talking about every percentage of your company. And that I think took a time. So I've had a journey from sole proprietor to private limited, and then of course I talk of IPO and everything. So it is important to sit down, do your research, which I did. I spent a lot of time with my artisans because that's where I'm going to work. So आपको पता होना चाहिए कि आपकी इंडस्ट्री की ग्राउंड रियलिटी क्या है, मार्केट रियलिटी क्या है, आपका कस्टमर क्या चाहता है. कस्टमर इज हैप्पी, nobody can, there's no other competition for you. So that's something that I learned, and that's what I'm applying.
And Aditi, you have highlighted a very, very important point. Being in this business consultancy field for a lot of time, I have met people who have very good ideas as a startup business. But the idea is unique, no doubt. But until unless your idea solves the problem of a customer, it is of no worth. And people startup, using some idea, like they feel, oh, this is so unique, there is no such product. But is your product actually doing something for the customer? Is there, basically there are two things. One is it solving the problem of the customer? Second is it fulfilling some desire of the customer?
Absolutely.
It has to be either of them. Otherwise, no matter your idea is unique or whatever, it is going to fail. And I've seen so many startups fail because of that.
Yeah, today I think we recently had the opportunity to attend G20 that our university holded, and we listened to Mr. Abhay Jere, who sits in the Ministry of Education. So he literally mentioned that the success rate of startups in India currently is 3%. So the rest all are failing. And that is also because people get fascinated with their idea and they start. Eventually, what happens is either their family responsibilities or their risk-taking abilities come down, and it doesn't work. But it it is a lot about how you push yourself forward in no matter what situation. And that push sometimes, obviously, it's always internal, and it also depends on what an individual is into a situation. Like it can be कि कोई बहुत passionate है, idea भी अच्छा है, but family responsibilities होती है, एक age group होता है, एक mindset होता है, एक environment होता है. So उसके हिसाब से भी people sometimes shut down. But many a times what happens is people have idea, they work on it, they don't feel, they look at their friends or other people's lifestyles and everything, and they feel कि इससे अच्छा तो मैं job कर लेता हूँ, and then they give up. But I don't think that happens. If you are an entrepreneur, by hook or by crook, today's loss is tomorrow's profit, and I'm gonna go there. So until you have that kind of resilience, you will not make it. So when you are having an idea, you also need to know कि इसको झेलना भी पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये आइडिया आ गया तो आपको पैसे आ गए. Take it to a stage where it will give you returns.
Absolutely. And when it comes to startups, I have seen many people, they are just fascinated with the idea that we won't be working under somebody and we would have our own business.
Exactly.
They don't consider the pros and cons of doing that. And ultimately, when they land into business, they feel, oh my God, we had to do this much. And I will tell you, entrepreneurship is a full-time job. Even initially,
it's a 24-hour job.
Yes. In the beginning, you have to devote your entire time. Your family is going to suffer somehow. I would use the word suffer because your family will tell you are not giving us time, you are not giving your family time, your kids are ignored, your spouses are ignored, things like that. So I think in that case, you have to think and prepare yourself very, very well before you do that. Because you have to prepare your family as well. When I started my own business, I had an open communication with my in-laws, with my spouse. Even I sat with my son, who's only 7 years old, and I told him that the mama won't be able to give you that much time. that I was giving you in the beginning. So you have to manage with Papa most of the times. So he said, I'm okay, Mama. So whenever I used to travel, he used to sleep with his father, and then he used to call me, hey, okay, Mama, you are coming tomorrow back. You are coming back tomorrow. And he was okay with it. And to my surprise, to all my relatives' surprise, they were like, how can a 7-year-old kid live without you?
That sense
So
of understanding.
yeah, and it was all because I had an open communication with him. I told him, like,
Right. That
talk to him as I would talk to an elder, to an adult. I explained him everything about my business, and he took it with his open hands, and my entire family did it. The second thing, you pointed another very important thing, which is there are ups and downs in business. So you cannot
true.
simply think that if you have started a business, you will be going up, up, up. Downs will also come, and downs are bad
Correct.
in the ups.
And when it's the down period, it's usually a time where you have to push yourself more than what you
Right.
had.
Yeah. And trust me, there would be people, society pressurizing you so much, they'll be coming to you and telling you, why did you do it in first place? You were doing so well in your job. Why did you drop your job and started your own business? So this is bound to happen. This happens with everybody.
Yeah.
You have to be strong
Yeah.
enough to handle this.
Yeah, and also balancing out everything. Like as an entrepreneur, you just injustice to human things, like
Right.
just having taking care of your people, taking care of yourself. Like ऐसा नहीं है कि काम कर रहे हो तो खाना time पे नहीं कर रहे हो and all of
Mhm.
that. It is a game of discipline, to be
Hmm.
honest,
Hmm.
and game of priorities.
Hmm.
I also recently had this opportunity in Time Mumbai where I could communicate with Team Mahindra, and there I actually asked him, ki, sir, how do you like? He sits on the chair of Mahindra, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure they have a lot of different routine than a regular entrepreneur because
Right.
they have a whole bigger enterprise to handle. So it's enterprise छोटा word है उनके
Hmm.
लिए.
Hmm.
So I have to prioritize, like as your age, you also have different personal lives, your different responsibilities. When you're a teenager, it's a different game. When you're in your early adult days, the game is different. In your elderly stage, your game is different. So in all these stages, you have priorities, you have responsibilities, and you have क्या बोलते हैं ना, आपको काम भी करना है, आपको पर्सनल लाइफ भी हैंडल करना है, आपको हेल्थ भी हैंडल करना है, प्लस आपको मार्केट के बारे में अपडेटेड भी रहना है. सो यू हैव टू बी अ वेरी वेल रेड पर्सन. यू हैव टू लाइक हर जगह पे एटलीस्ट 20% इन्वेस्ट
Hmm.
करना पड़ता है. सो
Exactly.
व्हाट आई लर्न देयर व्हिच आई एक्चुअली अग्रीड इज, एक तो यू हैव टू प्रायोरिटाइज.
Hmm.
Like if it is a Sunday, you should know what is your priority. If it is a
Hmm.
Monday, you should know what is your priority. So for me, it's a regular practice ki every day as the day begins, I have my to-do list
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then I follow it.
Yeah.
It's simple. Like in my to-do list, it can be just sitting down with mama for say 1 hour.
Hmm.
And it can be like, don't do anything else, get this work done.
Hmm.
So literally, you have to train your mind to listen to you. That's what I do, and I think an entrepreneur has to do that. Your mind has to listen to you कि आपको कब पर्सनल लाइफ में टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना है, आपको कब काम करना है, आपको कब सोना है, आपको कब खाना है,
Right.
कब आपको कुछ भी नहीं करना है. I have
Hmm.
do nothing days also,
Hmm. Hmm.
and that day it's like no work, no family, no myself also. I just want to sleep, and when
Yeah.
I wake up, then I don't want to sleep. Then I want to work or be with my family. That's how it is.
Right, right. And when it comes to prioritizing, somehow goal setting is extremely important because until unless you set up
Absolutely.
your goals, you cannot prioritize things. So,
Wow, so
Aditi,
true.
tell us, what are the goals you have set up for your business? How do you see yourself in the upcoming years?
Okay, so I want to be that legendary business
Hmm.
under which there were many, many families who ran their homes because I ended up continuing. So I want to be that one person who did not give up,
Hmm.
establish the company, and change the whole cultural game. Like the Gen Z knows about Indian art and culture and everything,
Hmm.
and it's a part of their day-to-day life.
Hmm.
That's what I want to do in terms of the cultural art forms.
Hmm.
In case of my artisans, I want my artisans to be so happy and established that people would be like कि यार ये 2 डिग्री लेने से अच्छा मैं थोड़ा एम्ब्रॉयडरी सीख लूँ, बहुत पैसा है इसमें. I want to change that game. Like I want to generate solid sustainable livelihoods to artisans and a prestigious space. Like I don't want people to feel like अरे ये तो बेचारे कारीगर है इनसे क्या
हाँ.
है. No, I don't need that sympathy. They
Hmm.
have God blessed skills. Like आपको और मुझे कोई वो पेंटिंग बनाने को बोल दे, कोई वो नीडल वर्क करने को बोल दे, कोई वो पॉटरी उस हिसाब से करने को बोल दे, it's not something that you and me can do.
Agree.
It's something that God has blessed them with. So they do, with due respect, I want them to have that respectful position in the society.
Hmm.
Also with my team, I think I want to have a solid team that everybody talks about. They can make any market just run superbly in their favor.
Hmm.
That kind of solid team, and I think I have ended up having such people, and because they have genuine attachment to what the founder's mission is, and every founder has a mission and goal for the company. And I want a team that solidly knows what the founder wanted, irrespective मैं हूँ नहीं हूँ दुनिया में, मेरी
Hmm.
वो टीम चलती रहनी चाहिए. And a solid place where a place in India where everybody on earth can just come and enjoy culture of India and the world. That's something I want to do. And I want to make sure that thousands and lakhs of people were
Hmm.
employed in my company, and that's get their medicine out of the salary that they could take from my company. So that's my whole goal.
Yeah, and I completely agree, Aditi. There is one more thing. I think there is one more mistake that most of these startups make. They don't build their teams. They keep on
Yeah.
micromanaging things. They don't focus on teams, and they feel that once we will start earning well, then we will hire more people, and then we will build our team. So, what is your idea about this?
Well, I think a leader is who has a strong team. आप ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि ये फाउंडर है, ये क्या बोलते हैं सीईओ है,
Hmm.
एंड इनके दम पे सब हो रहा है.
Right.
There is a strong backing team who ensures that whatever the founder's guidance is, whatever the vision is, everything is going according to that. Like the founder and leader can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. You're not God,
Hmm.
right? To run a company means your success lies in how much your team is efficiently working, and irrespective of their personal agendas, they know what the company's agendas and goals are. And it is important to build a team. It's not like it's not a solo game.
Hmm.
It's a team. And if you want to do a solo game, you will never be say, like even if you take cricket or something,
Hmm.
आप कितने भी बड़े विराट कोहली हो, there has to be somebody cutting the grass properly. There
Right.
has to be somebody taking care of the cameras, the lights. There
Hmm.
has to be somebody bowling. There has to be somebody manufacturing the bat correctly, the
Hmm.
stump correctly. There has to be somebody broadcasting everything correctly.
Hmm.
He has to have his managers. He has to have people getting him the right offers, right contracts.
Hmm.
So no matter who you are,
Hmm.
you can be the greatest player, but
Right.
you're nothing without people. And this is what COVID taught me.
Hmm.
Like when we were at homes, I understood कि in my everyday life,
Hmm.
there are so many people's contribution. घर में पानी आ रहा है क्योंकि म्यूनसिपैलिटी में कोई काम कर रहा है. कोई कारपेट प्रोड्यूस करता है. अभी हम यहाँ बैठे हैं, there is somebody manufacturing the chair. There
Hmm.
is somebody manufacturing this light.
Right.
So I feel it's too, it's the most stupid thing if you say कि I did this, or I am the game changer, or I am this, I am that.
Hmm.
uh, I have learned there is nothing called I am whole and soul. There is
Hmm.
always a team. There are always a set of people who come together, bring change,
Hmm.
and make things happen. So you can be the guiding force to
Hmm.
your company.
I absolutely agree with you. Aditi, tell us one more thing. How do you see yourself as a women entrepreneur? Like, what are the pros and cons of being a woman and then an entrepreneur?
Well, I think you earn more respect than the main. Let's just agree.
You nailed
Let's
it.
take away all the negative aspects of it. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि in today's world, if you are a woman entrepreneur, you get more respect.
Hmm.
Uh, because for you it was more challenging to do all the things, get it all done.
Yeah.
And it can be also because we go through this cycle. So post teenage our lives are like कि हमको in-laws सबका ख्याल रखना है, we have to guide our own family. I don't believe that men guide the family, men run the family. But a woman is the one who drives the culture at home and drives the mind of the child. So we get a complete major role in the society, I feel, क्योंकि आप next generation का mind and thought on health process करते हो. So I feel for us to manage that and to manage our dream, it's a more tougher work, and the world has accepted it. And स्टिल जब हम सक्सेसफुल होते हैं हमको ज्यादा इज्जत मिलती है. So I feel we have a slighter more advantage that when we make it happen we are more reputed than the male entrepreneurs, and we also get more you know, the government support.
Yeah.
We also get global support. We also get people advocating for us. Ki, no, she's a woman entrepreneur. Still, she did that. She still followed her dream.
Right.
If we have to talk about the positive aspects, these are the ones. But there are negative aspects that for us it is more challenging. Let's accept that also, because with us there are a lot of expectations attached to our gender. Right. With men also it's there. Ki men, we won't expect our husbands and brothers to, you know, do nothing. We expect them to get out, take responsibilities, be of a good character, good social circle and everything. We have expectations from both the genders. But stereotyping, it's there, like, you know, she's talking well, she's communicating well, she could present well, so she had more advantages. But we did it right. We went out and we presented, we went out and we communicated, we went out and we said that, hey, that's my dream, that's my goal. So we advocated ourselves, and that's why we stepped out. So if people think about us ki, you know, she's getting advantages because she could communicate better, because men sometimes you know, they don't present well. I have experienced this ki PowerPoint presentations, yeah, pitch decks, ये वो सब में women slightly present better than men. I have been in competitions जहाँ सारे लड़के थे और सिर्फ मैं अकेली लड़की थी जो इन्वेस्टर्स के सामने पिच कर रही थी, जजेस के सामने पिच कर रही थी. And I had a more better confidence, I had more better communication skill. Men would think we were talking, I would just say that that's my idea, that's my dream, that's my challenge, that's my problem, that's my solution. And I used to usually win. So I feel that I have more advantages. And that's also because I have a family and personal circle where nobody questions me कि आपको dreams क्यों है, आपको goals. But I also know in my personal circle where women are, you know, उनको बताया जाता कि आपको allowed क्या है, आपको allowed क्या नहीं है. My own friends, if I feel they didn't have that kind of a setup, they would have been better entrepreneurs. But since they come from wealthy families, they have fathers taking care of them and then husbands taking care of them, and then both of them not allowing them to work because financial responsibility hai nahi. And then I think they choose to be not taking their own voice as important because they did not dare. Right? If they dared that, you know what, Papa, you know what, so and so husband, I think I also want to do something. They did not do that. And everybody would say no. If I told my father I want to do nothing, my father would have just slapped me. Just go become an entrepreneur. My father is like, you don't have this existence on earth to do nothing or to just uh, be nothing. Like you have your own brain, you have your own mind, you have your own heart. And my mom and dad always told me कि आपको कुछ बनना है भाई, आप आए हो तो कुछ बन के जाओ. ऐसा नहीं है कि I always had that support in my family.
But most of the times women are not as blessed as you are. But still,
I agree.
I really hope that anyone to everyone who's listening to us today please get up, please raise your voice. If you don't want to do that, that's completely okay. But if you are willing to do that, this is the right time. Get up, raise your voice.
Yeah.
Once you communicate it well, I'm very, very sure people will understand. They are your own family. They love you, they care for you.
Correct. I just want to add that just because you become an entrepreneur does not mean you get rid of your responsibilities. When you are an entrepreneur, you have additional responsibility of your dream.
Right.
That does not mean that you become less prioritizing towards your family or your health or your every aspect of human life.
Hmm.
आपको बैलेंस करना पड़ता है and you choose to balance
Hmm.
when you become an entrepreneur. So you have to choose, but you can't choose one. You
Yeah.
can't say कि अब मैंने बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया तो मैं घर का कुछ नहीं करूंगी
Hmm.
या करूंगा। अब मैंने बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया है तो मैं ये नहीं सुनूंगी वो नहीं सुनूंगी। यू हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट योर फैमिली, यू हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट योर पीपल, यू हैव टू live with a certain responsibility and balance. That's
Right.
what I say.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And that's a valid point indeed. So, Aditi, this has brought us to the end of today's podcast. What is one message you would like to give to our audience?
Okay, it's a message in the sense that's what I live with. That's what I've told myself. So maybe I'll just share that. तुम इस दुनिया से कुछ लेके नहीं जाओगे क्योंकि तुम दुनिया को देने आए हो। सिंपल फॉर्मूला टू अप्लाई दैट आई अप्लाइड।
Hmm.
मुझे यही लगता है कि क्या ही लेके जाएंगे
Hmm.
ऊपर। सो आए होंगे तो दुनिया को कुछ देने के लिए आए होंगे। सो डू व्हाट योर बेस्ट एंड आई थिंक द राइट थिंग यू कैन डू फॉर योरसेल्फ is become the best version of yourself, and your best friend would be discipline. That's what I would like to tell you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And it was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, and I really enjoyed having a conversation with you, and I really wish you have a great success as a woman entrepreneur. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
out time.